heart of gold, but ready to fight. Standing tall, doing what's right. Shining truth like a firelight. Daddy's wisdom running deep taught me promises I gotta keep. Breaking chains, leaving pain behind. Calling out the crooked kind. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawntrooper rides again. Ain't no fear when I'm around. Justice stands on solid ground. One last chance to make it right, or face the reckoning tonight. In the dark, where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell. Standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawntrooper rides again. In the dark, where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell. Standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawntrooper rides again.
Warning: the following video contains strong language, which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only. Thank you for your attention. Welcome to the stream, guys. Whew. 1 second. Okie dokie, I'm going to make it absolutely crystal clear, and I want you all to listen. This is my personal opinion. This is my insight, but tonight it will be done with decorum. If you've come in here to mock, to press buttons, or to be rude, disrespectful, or think it's funny, I'm going to yeet you so quick, even your teeth won't catch up. I don't care if you've got members or not, members only or not, right? There is a level of respect, and from what I have been hearing and from what I have seen from certain other creators is despicable, to say the least. To a point where I know for a fact that quite a few creators are doing it because of the content. But when, like, you're making content out of the demise of other people, that is the most disrespectful and the most disgusting thing I have ever fucking seen. And trust me, I've seen a lot. So, one thing I want to make absolutely crystal clear is that I welcome you, all of you, to the stream. You can stay, you can leave, entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. But what's going to be said tonight needs to be said. Now, you know for a fact, I don't usually say anything unless I need to. So it's going to be said. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you are offended by it. But at the end of the day, right, enough's enough. A line has to be drawn. So first of all, welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen, Wookiees and Ewoks, members of the jury. Okay. Please make sure that you're settled. Please make sure that you are in a comfortable position, because tonight's stream is going to be very educational for a lot of you, especially, and I repeat, especially for the people who think it's okay to mock countries like Australia, the UK, different European countries. Now, this is not a dig at America. This is not a dig at Americans. Like I said previously before, okay, in every culture, in every country, you have the minority who always make other people look bad. Right? However, I'm a type of person, I judge everyone equally. But when you have people on their platforms, because they can't create or find content for themselves, they then obviously want to become very controversial, to say the least. So we're not going to talk about the what the hells tonight. We're going to talk about this. Maybe maybe something will pop in from the hells, but I can assure you, I'm not in the mood tonight to play games. So if any of you spazzes are out there thinking that you're clever, all right, test my resolve. Because it's very easy to name and shame people, which I so much want to do. However, they are so below me and so irrelevant that I'd rather, right now, I want to fart, but that's how important my fart is. They are less important than my fart. But anyway, we digress. Why am I doing this stream tonight? Why is my pretty not here? My pretty is dealing with some medical issues. And has done for a while, and she is not around at the moment, but I've already told her when she gets back and she wants to jump on, she can jump on and catch up. Right? It's a very delicate conversation. Obviously, there are GoFundMes out there, so you need to do the research. Basically, about the excuse me, about one of the guys who went hands-on, and also for a little angel as well. Okay, I'm not going to put up with any crap tonight, and I don't care who you are. don't test me. You won't. None of you have seen what I am capable of. Because I tell you one thing, I am as cold as ice when it comes to situations like this. Because a lot of you don't understand the severity of this in different countries. All right. I'm already a little bit perturbed of some of the comments that were made over the last few days by other creators. And as I said, they are irrelevant. Irrelevant. Okay. They are as relevant as shit under my shoe. But anyway, we digress. Now, this topic to me is extremely important for me. All right. And it's going to be a measured discussion. So if you've got any questions, please wait. Okay. I don't want to see any arguments or drama. We're all a community here. You all know each other. And if someone comes in, the moderators will deal with it. Okay. Let the moderators deal with it. Do not respond. Do not, and don't, if they try to come in and antagonize you, ignore it. The moderators will deal with it. And tonight it's either you're gone for 10 minutes or you're gone for 24 hours. And the moderators will then take the link of your account and send it to me privately. And if it was a one-off, you get 24 hours. If there's another stream, you come in and apologize, then fine. After that, that's it. You can come in here, sit in here as much as you like, with members only or not. All right, you type away, no one will see you. Simple. I'm not going to put up with that crap because I'm getting to the end of my tether. I've already gave you the expectations of what I expect from people, and some people may not like that. You probably don't like being told, "Hey, watch your tone, watch what you say." All right, and I appreciate that. And Nina, sorry to hear about your floods. Okay, now like I said, I've made this absolutely clear right now. Okay. And I hope that everyone, understands that. Right. Okay. Now tonight, it's not about clicks. It's not about outrage. It's about perspective and responsibility. How you conduct yourself as a creator, as a person. Okay. Now I'm not going to sit here and poke people in the chest because if I want to, I'll get on a plane and come over. Right. But I am gonna cyberly poke people in the chest. If you are going to sit on platforms and be so disrespectful, then I am gonna put you under the microscope. I'm gonna put you under the searchlight. I'm gonna make you stand out, and I'm gonna make you look like a complete dick or dickie, however you speak. Now, one thing I want to point out very quickly. An incident took place in Bondi Beach in Australia a few days ago. Well, last 48 hours. And unfortunately, people were unalived by two individuals, a father and son. Okay. Probably radicalized by other groups, but we're not going to go into that. And interesting, Sunkiller, I can't see you. Why can't I see you type? Interesting. Better figure it out soon, buddy. Now, obviously, we had a member of the public who decided to intervene, a gentleman. He was hit twice, once in the left arm and in the hand, and he is in stable condition in hospital. And I think a young child was also injured. Now, before I even go into this, and before I even go any further into this, right, my sincere condolences, prayers, thoughts are to the victims of that attack, that terroristic attack, because that's what it was. Okay, and it was a real event. It wasn't AI. It wasn't a joke. And people got hurt, and unfortunately, people got unalived. Regardless of what you think, um, so, and especially for those affected, because people have been injured or are casualties of this attack. Okay, we're also talking about people who were not directly involved but were there and witnessed it all. They are also going to be tormented by this. So, they need the support and help as well. So please make sure you send your, if you see someone from Australia or you see someone, just send your respect and your thoughts to them. Now, this is a topic for no jokes. There's no joking about it. There's no memes or point. There's definitely not a point scorer in the stream. This is a stream in regards of what happened on Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach is one of the most famous locations in the world. Richly, people travel all the way from around the world to go to Australia to go to Bondi Beach. It is one of the most. It is one of the most. It's like one of the wonders of the world. Right. Now, tonight, it's not about the outrage or clicks. It's about responsibility and perspective, like I said. It's basically, before anything else, we need to respect the victims. The victims can come first. Now, if you've got an attitude problem or you've got an issue about that, then fuck off. Then leave. Because I'm going to say it as it is. And we're going to educate certain people. And maybe these people already know who they are. Maybe don't. But they're not going to have me even uttering a syllable of their name because they're not worth it. And in fact, I'm surprised people even still fucking support these individuals. But then again, it's entirely your choice. Sheep will follow. You guys out there, both lurking and inside, you mock me, you take the piss. I like, a little giggle here, a little giggle there, a little bit of banter, right? About, sheep shagging and everything else. That's fine. But remember one thing. When you act like sheep, you're going to get fucked like sheep. Simple as. Now, some people's behavior crossed the fucking line. It crossed the line, considering that these people are supposed to be pillars of the community, are supposed to be looked up to, respected. But by God, people were so fucking wrong. So wrong. So wrong. But then again, you can't choose people. You're welcome, Mally. Not a problem. You're welcome. You take care, sweetheart. Now, when you dehumanize victims, that's where the line draws. Go and find out yourself, Nina. With all due respect, I'm not saying anything about anyone. I'm not giving them the credit. I've said that before, and I'm not going to repeat myself, with the utmost respect. Because I'll tell you one thing, if I did, we'll be sitting here until tomorrow night with just a quarter of what I really do want to say of multiple individuals. But then, like I said, they are irrelevant. This is about the victims in Australia. Yeah. Now, the ongoing mockery and the minimization of the tragedy that happened in Australia is despicable, to say the least. Now, tonight was supposed to be a stream with myself, and we were going to talk about general stuff on the case and everything else. But the amount of DMs and God knows what else I was receiving over the last few days, and yeah, even clips and links, but I ignored it because I'm not interested. But I was interested in what some of the people were saying, especially people from Australia. And just to give you an idea, I have relatives in Australia. Right now, what would have happened if it had been my relatives? What about the people like Aussie Jen? I haven't seen Aussie Jen for quite a while, and I'm a bit concerned about how she's doing. However, there's a bridge contact, there's a contact. But what about the people in Australia? How they're dealing with this now? What about a few years ago when we had attacks in London? Right, when they had what was it? Was it 7/7? Was it? Yeah, it was 7. They like when they had attacks in London, for example, right? Underground buses. Now, one thing I have to point out is that every single country represented, the only country where you're legally allowed to have weapons of any shape and form and at any time, and you can even carry them legally, is the United States of America, because that's your Second Amendment. But in Australia, have similar laws as we do in the UK, combined, the whole of UK. By law to land, you are allowed to have a shotgun. However, you still need to go through Section 5 of the Firearms Act, which means that you have to go through psychological evaluation, and you have to have all the boxes ticked. And then, even then, it is a controlled type of shotgun. It can only be 2 rounds or whatever. It can't be a semi-automatic. Okay. Now, if you join a shooting team or something like that, or an organization, yeah, then you can have it. Just like in Germany, for example, if you can join a police shooting team. You can join various different shooting teams, and you can have multiple weapons. However, the weapons and the ammunition need to be separated. Just like in Australia, you're allowed up to 6 weapons, I believe, or 8. And they have to be long-barreled weapons, for example, like shotguns. Or they are for hunting purposes. But a lot of people from the United States, and listen, this is not me having a dig at all the Americans. This is me pointing out the unsavory comments made by a minority of individuals who think that, you think you're tough because you got your Second Amendment, right? You think that you're funny, that you've got your Second Amendment. Okay, let's get real, shall we? Shall we get real? If you want to get real right now, press 1. If not, press 2. Because one way or the other, we're going to get real tonight. There are a lot of serving and ex-members of the armed forces. Timothy, for example. Okay, Timothy, member of the armed forces. All right, how many people in here are serving or former members of the armed forces, regardless of what arm they are? Roy, for example, is ex-forces. I am ex-forces. There's a lot of people in here. Okay, a lot of people in here, and who frequent here, who are former or serving members of the armed forces. And we take pride in what we've done. So we know exactly, or anyone who has served in the armed forces know exactly where I'm going with this. So you've got a choice. We can get real very quickly. And some of you may not like it, and I don't really give a shit if you like it or not. Because one thing I've noticed over the last year, 2 years, people don't like the truth. And they all, oh, fucking, oh, little limey bastard is talking out of his eye, blah, blah, blah. You're not gonna get pussyfooting around tonight, because a lot of people have pushed their luck. A lot of people out there have mocked this situation, and yeah, a lot of BS yet again. All right, and it's from multiple creators, but you have to figure that out yourself. Now, the level of human impact this is going to have on people who were there that day, all right, is going to be very, very, very hard for them to deal with, and it's going to take a while. Now, you want to get real. Okay, let's get real then. Let's do this. Let's get very real. Oh, right. Okay. Now, I've been accused of just talking shit and trying to cause drama. Well, if you want, if you want to turn around to a narcissist and say, "I'm not the one causing drama," you're accusing me of causing drama. There you go. There's already there is the there is the answer. It's quite funny, actually. Yeah. Because a narcissist will blame you for responding to what they have accused you of. But hey, let's look into this, okay? Let's have a little butchers at this. Let's go straight into the mess, shall we? And again, please keep it respectful. Let's have a look at the statistics from certain creators and certain people who think it's funny to mock Australia and the UK or general countries around the world. Okay. Now, these are the statistics of, I believe, deaths or unaliving of people through gun or weapon or whatever you want to fricking call it. I want you to look at the result. I want you to look at them. I want you to look at the results. The maximum involving firearms was 40, and that was in 2012. 2023 to 2024. Now, I wasn't happy with that. I was not happy with that result, or those statistics. So, you know what? You know what I like to do? I went on to the next one. So I went there. Oh, look at that. 6% increase in total offences in 2023 compared to 2022-23. The increase is driven by an increase in offences involving imitation of firearms. All right. You got imitation, which is the red line. You got handguns, which is the grey line. Unidentified other shotgun rifles. Okay. 2006, total of 11,088 offences with firearms. Total offences in 2023-24 remain at 42% less than the peak in 2005-2006. Interesting, don't you find it? And by the way, if you really want to be shocked and you really want to go around and act like, oh, we're Americans, we're the best country in the world, well, I've left some links in the description for you, ladies and gentlemen, Ewoks, Wookiees, boys and girls. Go and have a look at your fucking statistics before you mock Australia, the UK, or any other country. And by the way, this is not me disrespecting America. America is a fantastic country. There are many, many fantastic people, and the historical side of it is just unbelievable, right? And you know that I joke about saying Americanese, but this is a serious situation here. Now, here you're looking at the statistics. This, I decided to go to AI and ask AI, hey, AI, tell me, in the year ending March 2025, police reacted to 5,103 offences involving firearms in England and Wales, a 21% decrease from the previous year. Gun-related homicides remained low, with 22 fatalities recorded in the year ending 2024. Interesting, don't you think? Metric, year ending 2025, changed year proves, blah, blah, blah. Total firearms offences, 5,103, decreasing 21%. Homicides involving firearms, year March 23, data 22. 22! Wow, that's a lot. My goodness. Lethal barrel firearms discharge, 692. 15% decrease. Okay, and I'm going to let you read that. I'll give you a couple of minutes to read that. So if it's too small for you, let me know, and I will be more than happy to enlarge it for you. If you want it enlarged, I will enlarge let me just read it out to you. Weapons type. The decrease was mainly attributed to a 30% fall in offences involving imitation firearms, IG replica weapons, and BB pew-pews, which accounted for approximately 37% of all firearm offences. Handguns were involved in 33% of offences. Method of use. In cases where a firearm, including air weapons, was involved, March 22 to 2024 data, the use was evenly split between being fired, 49%, or used as threat, 49%. Geographic concentration. Offences involving firearms are concentrated in large urban areas. In the year ending March 2024, the Metropolitan Police and West Midlands Police Force areas accounted for the highest number of police firearm operations. The London Metropolitan Police generally records the highest total volumes of firearms-related offences. Do you know why? Youngsters thinking that they're gangsters. And where did that come from? Thank you, United States of America. Just saying. But in whole, I'm not blaming one side. I'm just saying, all right. Because we brought you rock and roll, and you brought us, yeah. Anyway, trend: gun crime offences have trended downwards since the peak in this year, ending March 2006. 11,888 offences, reaching their lowest level since the year ending 2015. The UK has some of the world's strictest firearm laws, which contribute to relatively low rates compared to some other countries. Interesting. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about AI, shall we? So I then went and decided to change it a little bit, and I went, right, tell me what the comparison is from the UK to the US. And I was absolutely gobsmacked. I was, do you know what? I don't even have to read this out, do I? Huh? Do I? I mean, I think that explains everything, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? And you want to joke about other countries and their firearms and about the laws they have in those countries, about Australia and everything out, and you think you're fucking clever, mocking it and joking about it. And then you've got people who actually fucking enable you and support you of what you're saying. Really? Wow. So you're such a... Oh, God. I mean, just to give you an example, I'm going to give you an example. All right. This was written to me in a DM. And I'm going to try to keep it as, on the website that is in the description, there are 16. There are 16 pages. 16 pages, ladies and gentlemen, of mass shootings. And they have 25 on each page. In 2025, according to this website, and you want to joke about Australia having gun laws and the UK having gun laws and everything else. Okay. Then explain 400 mass shootings in 1 year alone. This is all from that website. So if you want to question or you want to mock other countries, right, about people being unalived by people who technically shouldn't be anywhere near a water pistol, let alone anything else, right? Now, I could mention something about a party, but I'm not going to do that. That's in the description. That's up to you. And I know there's people out there who don't like me. And I know for a fact you don't like me because you leave an impression. Trust me. And if you think you care or you are relevant, you're not. Because all you do is show me of the type of person you are. So slowly but surely, I fucking yeet you out of existence from my platform and anything that I'm involved in. Right? It takes a while, but trust me, I'm good at finding them. I assure you. Now, if you don't believe me, go to the websites. They are linked in the description. Enjoy the read. Enjoy the read. But you want to question that, yeah? But you don't want to question about, the incident that happened in Australia. Or what's his name? Charlie, what's his name again? That poor sod who was minding his own business. And now you got someone who looks like he's out of his head on some rug in court, thinking like, "Oh, look at me, I'm famous," getting his little fame in. Right? People have had their life taken away from them. People have had lifelong changes done to them by individuals who couldn't use their mouth or intelligence to say anything. There you go, Kirk. I try to avoid that conversation or that topic because at the end of the day, I just don't appreciate the fact that people, seem to bounce off people's demise. And no, I'm not going to do that. That's why I don't talk about it. May he rest in peace. Yes, I know, Roy, but that's not the point. That is not the point. Right? That's not the point. I'm trying to make a point here, Roy. I get it, brother, but that's not the point. Stay with me on this one. Right. Now, here's the comparison between the United States and Australia. Total gun unalived rate. 2019, the US recorded a rate of approximately 12.09 deaths per 100,000 people, while Australia's rate was 0.9 per 100,000. The overall gun unalived rate had been reported as up to 12 times higher than Australia's. 12 times. Now, is this true? Who knows? You'd have to do your research yourself. But I think this here, right? Firearm homicide rate. The age-adjusted firearms homicide rate in the US is approximately 33 times higher. Now, obviously, this is question asking AI, but but the thing is, you get the base idea here, and then Roy, I'm not going to argue that point here. Not right now. This is why I'm saying go and check it for yourself. But if people are going to sit on their platforms and mock Australia or other countries who don't have the same rights that you have, for example, you have the right to bear arms, correct? You have the right to carry arms. You're allowed to carry your right. So you tell me how many people on a day that incident happened in Bondi. All right, I want you to go and do your research. Yeah. Hey, Tree God, what do you mean with that comment? What do you mean with that comment? What do you mean with that comment? Huh? I like that. I mean, listen, I get it. You know, you do your own research. Don't forget, I don't live in the United States. Don't forget, Australians who go to people's streams don't live in the United States. You guys live in the United States. You know the rules or the laws way better than anyone else does. But instead of challenging someone, why don't you do your research? So you're telling me that everything about all the mass shootings and everything else in the United States is not as bad as you say? You're getting totally the wrong end of the stick. But then again, I wouldn't expect anything else because I am basically questioning people's common sense to sit on their fucking platforms, okay, and actually mock countries that have more laws, weapon laws, than the United States, because you have your Second Amendment. Now, at the end of the day, if I go and do my research and I find stuff, let me put it this way. If you think that's bullshit and you think that research is shit, why are you sitting in here? Why aren't you contacting your senators or your governors, right, to get the statistics done correctly? But it's okay for people to question it. The moment you question something about American gun law or American traditions or whatever, suddenly you're the fucking bad guy. I am sitting here telling you that someone, right, some people on their platforms can mock other countries because you have the right to bear arms and other countries have more gun rules. But that's okay. Are you telling me that's okay to mock these people, mock those countries, especially what happened in Australia? Tell me, is it okay for someone to do that? That's what I'm asking you. Is it okay for someone to do that? Or am I touching a nerve on it? Or am I hitting a nerve here? Just asking. I'm asking simple questions. I'm using research on information from the interwebs, which is there, okay? So if I am asking a question, then is it you to correct me, or is it you to correct them to make sure that the right information is actually right on Tree God? I'm not talking about him. Okay, I'm not talking about him. So don't change the topic, please. I'm talking about other people on their platforms mocking Australia, especially on a day or a day after the incident took place. And then when someone actually starts questioning, right, the differences between your rights and other people's rights and your laws and their laws, which are total day and night, by the way. I'm not interested in this liberal, conservative, or left wing, right wing. I'm interested in actual facts. And until you can show me or you can bring me evidence of how many right incidences of mass shootings happen in the United States, I'm going to go by what I find. But to sit on a platform and mock it, but then again, I wouldn't expect anything less from certain individuals. Just saying. Yeah, I'm not gonna discuss ideology, all that stuff. Not involved. Don't care. I'm talking about people who lost their lives, and now suddenly, right? Countries who have gun laws, get mocked, and and suddenly, it's okay for people to sit on their platforms and go, yeah, 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 yeah. If you had different gun laws, things like that wouldn't happen. Yeah, that's where. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, it is. That's the thing, because how do you know what's true or not? How do you know that these websites are fake? Or it doesn't matter what side they're from, but you tell me where do you draw the line? Where the truth is and where fabrication is? I mean, you just said, it's been written by liberals and everything else. Does it matter? If it's been made public and it's been written. Okay, let's see. I ask how people get these things in countries that have strict laws. Well, first of all, okay, you have to go through a screening process, right, and have reasons, especially over here. And if you want, I can look it up right now. I mean, if you seriously think that to get a weapons license is difficult, it's not. But you have to have reasons for it, and you go through screening here in the UK for sure. We are legally under the law of the land, are entitled to have a shotgun. However, okay, what you have to understand is that the moment you break one of those rules, that's it. And you'll never get a Section 5 weapon certificate again. But in the States, you can go to a farm, or you can go to what they call these freaking big open fairs where you can it's like a gun fair. Roy, you'd have to talk to someone who lives in Australia, because it's not about the gun screening. It's about the fact that this happened. I mean, you're telling me that two guys walking through the streets with shotguns and a long rifle. Oh, I see some people. Okay. Oh, now we're talking about freedom of speech. You can get Jack right. Okay. We're not talking about freedom of speech. We're talking about someone walking up on a beach using a 12 gauge shotgun, a semi-automatic shotgun, right? Because I mean, if you actually look at the pictures correctly, right, he had multiple different. He had buckshot, he had birdshot, and I think he had slug on his belt as well. Yeah, we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk about that in here. Sorry, but please don't mention that in here again. Thank you. I have full Gail. I appreciate what you just said, but please try to refrain from using that group's name in here. So, I mean, like, obviously, we're going away from the point I'm trying to make. All right. This is, I mean, we're talking about the point I'm trying to make here. The point I'm trying to make here is it's okay to mock a country that has strict laws, right? Whereas you guys have your Second Amendment where you can, and it's okay to do that. And not just one person, but multiple people have done that. Now, I don't really care, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over, different things. However, people need to do their research, because let's be honest. Let's be very, very honest. There are more unaliving due to gun crime in the United States on a daily basis than there are combined in the UK, Europe, and frickin' Australia. Combined. Well, that's go. Oh no, I think that I would say Australia, UK combined versus the statistics in the US. Yes or no? Yes or no? I think the son did. It looked like he was wearing body armor on. It looked. I will talk to you privately, Roy. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to like this stream tonight, but at the end of the day, you need to say it as it is. Well, funny enough, I've been talking about percentages ever since I've started Squid. So, Yeah, but how do you, Tree God? How do you know he hasn't got a felony? How would you know that? I mean, let's go and take an example out of the what the hell's case. If you can remember many moons ago, okay, John Cook stated to the sheriff, he stated that he sold a gun Right? He sold a gun, right, to a friend. That was his words. I sold the gun to a friend. The deputy or the sheriff turned around and said, "What's your friend's name?" John Cook could not remember. So what would you consider that? But then again, my God, I am lagging. I didn't realize how because Chigot, if you just answer that one about the gun shells, then you are way behind. Try to refresh, dude. Now, the point I'm trying to make here, right? It's not about. Well, it is about the statistics of different countries, but it's the fact that you want to try to make yourself glorious by making comments about people who lost their lives due to complete idiots or nutters. And then you want to say, oh, well, I mean, here's the thing. We had 2 mass shootings in this country, in the United Kingdom, right? One was called Hungerford. And what was the other one? Was it, You can't remember. Well, it's Hungerford. And the other one, what was the other one? What was the other one? And that put a stop to it instantly. That changed the law in this country. Right? And the thing, and at the end of the day, laws changed in this country because of exactly that. Now, I don't care about certain things in the United States or in Australia or here, right? Because it's irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, 1 people or 10 people or 1,000 people can't change things. It takes millions of people to change laws. However, when you think it's funny, or you mock the country because of their gun laws, or you think you're so clever because you think you're educated, and you haven't lived in a country where someone can walk up to you and smack you in the jaw, right? And then what are you going to do then? Because I tell you one thing, right? In this country, the United Kingdom, right? It's because obviously, yes, you've got people out there who will try their utmost best to try to, look gangster. Or in Australia, I don't know about Australia because I don't live there, but I've got relatives who live there. Right? But Jeff, the difference, I'm not, Jesus Christ, do you know what? It's not about, it's an example. I am speaking English, aren't I? Yeah, good. Right. It's an example. The point I'm making is when people think it's funny because different countries, oh yeah, could have avoided that if you had the same law as the United States. No, that's where I draw the fucking line. I don't care if people dislike me or like me, but you don't mock other countries, especially on a tragedy like that. In actual fact, over here in the UK, knife crime is higher than what you call it, gun crime. But because I don't live in Australia, I can't comment on what the statistics are over there. I can comment on the statistics over here, whereas Trigod or Velissa or someone else can, right, can talk about the US laws. Who doesn't have strict laws, Greer? So okay, then let me ask you a question. When was the last time there was a mass shooting in the United States? Yeah, Jeff, don't be a fucking wise ass, please. No, it shouldn't be laughed at all. That's my whole point. But obviously, you know, I'm not saying people are taking me out of context or taking out what I'm saying out of context. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to do some research on stuff and find that, you know, in 1 year alone, the statistics in one country are like out fucking blowing another country's statistics, then either you need to sort out your country's counters or people who deal with statistics, and or go to the police and the government and get them to do these counts a little bit make it actually factual. Like I said, I'm not going to name anybody because these individuals are irrelevant, and I don't care. I don't care if you know or you don't. I'm not going to lower myself down to that. But at the end of the day, right, if people support that type of behavior, then bye. You know, I actually spoke. When was it? Last night? No, yeah, it was last night. I spoke to my uncle in text, and I was talking to him about it. And he turned around and he said that, you know, the laws in Australia need to change. They need to be stricter. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was really upset about what happened on Bondi Beach. And that should be the topic of conversation. People should be thinking about that. When you've got people walking around with weapons taking over people's lives, that should be discussed. There's nothing you or I can do about it to stop that from happening. But to joke about it and go, well, yeah, well, you don't have the same, no. All right, Tree God, drive safely, please, and be good. Of course they won't, Roy. Of course they won't. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is, do you think do you think comments that ridicule or I don't even know how to word this. I really don't know how to word this. Because I had a funny feeling this was gonna happen. But at the end of the day, nothing controversial should have been said except, sorry for the loss. My thoughts and prayers are for the victims of that incident, and then left it like that. But then again, if you're good with the gab, even someone with one brain cell will believe you. But hey, who am I? Well, who am I? So my question to you guys again: how many mass shootings has the United States of America had in the last year? And how many has Australia had? Why don't you guys do research and educate me? Do you know what, Lucia? I totally respect that. I totally respect that. Excuse me. I totally respect that. Um, Irrelevant question. Why is that? Yeah, that's the best sentence I've probably seen so far. We are losing the ability to have empathy and show compassion. Well, with me, it's different. I like to show compassion and empathy because at the end of the day, right, people needlessly lost their lives because of who knows, radicalized individuals, mental health. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs about that, but we're talking about. Hello, Stacey. How are you doing? Why would America need to answer to another country's tragedy? I'm going to look into that part, Roy. That's a very interesting comment. And don't get me wrong, I'm not quiet because I don't know how to respond to everyone's comments. It's just that I'm absolutely fucking shocked. That's all. I'm just absolutely gobsmacked. And this will probably be the only time I'm going to talk about it because at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, people lost their lives in a country that has strict laws, and then you got people who think they mocked those laws and think it's funny. I'm going to go to my happy place for a moment. What was it? 392 in 2025, Timothy. Is that what you're saying? In the United States, there were 392 mass shootings. I understand, Freckle. I understand. Yeah. All right. Let the floodgates open. Now you can throw your criticism in. Yeah. And say what you like, because I need to go and pray to the Portland God for a second. So while we're doing that, while I am going to do that, you can enjoy this. Where is it?
Where power slept so proud, the whispers grow 1,000 loud. The marble cracks, the gold turns gray. A city's throne is swept away. Rome shall fall, its heart shall break, not by steel nor armies wake, but by lies that bleed and hands that cheat. It crumbles under its own deceit. The gods once praised now turn their head, as honor fades and truth lies dead. No foe has come, no blade drawn near.
Okay. I am back. The Portland God was not happy. But anyway, going back, like, my main point here, all right, it's not about to talk. We can have a constructive conversation about the laws in different, the laws in different countries and everything else. But when you've got various creators thinking it's a joke and question the laws in that country, and not thinking about the victims and not thinking about those who are going to be affected, not just overnight, but who are going to be affected for a long period, a long time. That's what counts here. I don't care if you don't like my opinion. I don't care if you don't like what I say. But what I do care about is that if you agree with me that our thoughts and prayers and our condolences to the victims of what happened in Bondi Beach in Australia, that is important to me. Now, everything else we can discuss at a different time. Hell, we can discuss it privately. We can discuss it in members only. But at the end of the day, I don't care about your ego. I don't care about your prowess. I care about that you think probably the same way I think about those unfortunate people who were affected by what happened in Australia the other day. I don't give a I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass, okay, about gun laws or anything else. What I care about is that a lot of people think it's fucking funny what happened just because of the gun laws. I don't. Any information that you can find on the internet, yes, can be questioned. It should be questioned. But the difference is day and night. If you want to mock countries where those countries have different gun laws, I read that freckled. I read that wrong. Oh my God, Jesus. Well, right. It's irrelevant. We can go into that in depth. And here's the thing: I'd be more than happy to talk to people like Roy, privately, and then we can go and do research on this, and then discuss countries and their laws. No, Squid. Yeah, we're not concerned about them. Okay, so let's keep 1 second. 1 second. Oh, sorry. Where is it? Oh, no, not going to say it. Not going to say it. I'm not saying it. Interesting. Okay, let's keep the political and the religious conversation down to a minimum, please. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not in the mood anymore. Because at the end of the day, when people mock situations like that and countries about thinking it's funny to mock a country that has different gun laws than the United States of America, that's where, you know, but you do you. As far as I'm concerned, right, what should be happening is that people should be thinking and supporting the victims of that incident, regardless if it's Australia, America, uh, the UK, Germany, France, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that when it comes to news reports, you need to take that with a pinch of salt. Now, apparently, statistics should be taken with a pinch of salt. So I'm going to do a little bit of deep dive on this one. And yes, the UK and Australia have similar laws when it comes to having a Section 5 or a weapons certificate or allowed to hold firearms. Now, if you want to if you want to like put that to one side and then take a look at your own laws and your own situation and look at the victims that have occurred from someone doing what those two did in Bondi, then there's a lot of people need to wake up and smell the coffee. The biggest and the biggest incident that we've had was Dunblane, unfortunately. But even at but I don't have the information in front of me, but I do know that quite a few people lost their lives. You made it onto the keyboard. Yeah, I've been trying to. Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's my whole point, Timothy. That is my whole point. But I just wanted to show the difference between. I just wanted to show the difference between each country. But obviously, the statistics in the in the US seem to be either wrong or they've been created to give a false narrative. So there you go, Roy. So even I've been educated tonight. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. However, I do think that people, someone should do a little bit of research, find the GoFundMe for that gentleman who actually tackled one of the attackers. Apparently, from what I've read, the GoFundMe is at 1.3, so that's good. And there's a young lady who has helped as well. This was my whole point about tonight. It's about human life, not about what what law you have or what weapon you carry or whatever. It's about the fact that people had lost their lives, and that's the most important thing. Now we can sit here all fucking night and argue about statistics and about how many people lost their lives due to someone else's stupidity or whatever, or mass shooters. We can sit here all night and go on through that, right? And then next you got religion getting dragged into it, you got politics dragged into it, you got God knows what else dragged into it. And that should not be anything to do with this. What should be pointed out is that at the end of the day, if you don't live in that fucking country, don't open your mouth about the laws or what's going on in there. What I did tonight, all I am doing is pointing out the differences between the countries, the different statistics. May they be correct or wrong? It doesn't matter. It's the fact of the matter that these statistics exist. That is my point. The fact that these statistics exist. Look at, for example, what happened on London Bridge last year, a couple of years ago. Look what happened in France a few years ago, and Belgium, and Germany. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the ideology. I'm not going to go into cultural. I'm not going to go into any of that. The fact that the matter is, right, is that at the end of the day, people lost their lives because of one reason or the other. And gun laws shouldn't have even been mentioned, because at the end of the day, you don't know what the situation was at the time. Simple as that. If I lived in the United States or I lived in Canada, right, two countries right on each other's border, one has one type of gun law and the other one has a complete different. It's like day and night. Over here in the UK, all you have to do is travel 31 miles across open water and you will come across a complete different setup laws. In Europe, you are allowed to carry any type of weapon, but it has to be a blank firing weapon. So that means you can carry a weapon, right? But it has to be over in Germany, for example. You can carry any type of pistol, right? And if you get stopped by the police, you can turn around and say it's for myself for protection, right? And you can carry gas, CS gas or pepper spray or pepper gas in the rounds. There's an old saying that not one person has said yet, or I've missed it. It's not guns that unalive people. It's people who unalive people. But like, again, it's not about this. It's not about the statistical guns. It's about the fact that when you joke about a country's laws and you totally ignore the fact that people lost their lives, you're just a despicable, sick fucking human being. And it's not just one person; it's multiple people. Yeah. Now, you may have your opinion about me. Good luck to you on that one. All right. Because at the end of the day, if anyone wants an opinion about me, I'll give you that opinion. Yeah. Sometimes I can be foul mouthed and have an attitude. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome. That's me. All right. And I'll say it as it is. But the thing is, I am more than happy to sit here and read your comments. And even if you don't agree, I respect that. But use some fucking common sense. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not allowed to say that word. I'll get it in the neck by squid if I say that word again. But I'm still going to say it because squid's not quick enough. Common sense. If you want to make yourself famous, jump the fence of the White House. That'll get you fame. If you want to be on the front page of the New York Times or something like that, parachute off the Empire State Building naked. I mean, do something that'll put you in the newspaper. Now, a lot of people won't agree with me. A lot of people may not like what I say, and a lot of people probably might, think that I shouldn't involve myself in people's, in people's countries. I mean, the amount of times I've had, people say, "Oh, you're a limey. You can't talk about the United States, or you can't talk about Canada, or you can't talk about this country or that country or this country because you don't live there." Well, newsflash: I have been to Australia many years ago. Newsflash: I have been to America. Yes, I have been to Canada. Yes, I have been to Central America. Yeah, but I don't talk about that stuff because at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. You're welcome, Arizona. Thank you very much for being here. Right, but at the end of the day, you can judge me any way you like. It's not going to change the fact that I'm going to say what I want to say. And I'm definitely not going to mention names because these people are irrelevant. They don't exist on the radar. They don't even exist as far as I'm concerned. But I'm just voicing my opinion about the unfortunate situation that happened on Bondi Beach the other day, and the unfortunate demise of innocent human beings. Right? It's up to their police. It's up to whoever to judge those people. Because at the end of the day, there's only one person in this realm that's going to be judging you. That's why I don't care when you guys judge me, because I don't. Because there's only one person who's going to be judging me. Because I can, Squid. And because I wanted to put my message across that, But yeah, obviously I'm not. Yeah, so we'll stop talking about it. Let's talk about something else then. How about that? We'll talk about something else. So it's so it's okay for people to joke about fucking countries' laws, about their weapons laws, but it's not okay for me to discuss this. Okay. Oh, and Double Karma, thanks very much for the for the £2 to support our Aussie friends. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. It wasn't needed, but thank you so much. It's not about members only. It's not about the super chats or super stickers tonight. I'm not in the mood. I can assure you I'm not in the mood. I am probably in a very I'm in a very neutral mood. If you wanna say I'm in a mood, then put it this way. I'm in a not in a confrontational mood. I'm in more of a, why don't people think before they actually fucking think it's funny about what's happened? What? Wait, what? Oi, you not see? So I did. Yeah, I saw it. I do apologize for. Yeah. Do you know there's some people, right, who I dislike for some reason, right? I want to forgive them, but a voice on my other shoulder is telling me not to, because once bitten, twice shy, as they say. And I'm not that typical bitch to bend over and spread my legs for nobody. But like I said, I get it. There's quite a few people in here who know about, the statistics and have their opinion. And I'll be more than happy to talk to people about that because it's educational. That's a good point. Yeah, I know, Roy. That's a good point. But the thing, for me, it was one specific reason. And I just want people to remember that, we're all human beings at the end of the day. No one is perfect, no matter who you are. Right? And instead of mocking or having, joking about a country's law or anything else, think about the victims and show your condolence or show your support or whatever you want to do, and then move on. I'm not here, right, to rub it into anyone's face. I'm here, right, to just say, hey, look, there's a big fucking difference between multiple different countries. And if I'm wrong, tell me now, because there is a big fucking difference. And also, just so you know, I will be doing a couple of streams for Christmas for people just to hang out, and we're gonna, we're just gonna hang out. And if you don't want to talk, fine, we'll just hang out, listen to some Christmas vibes. I'll probably might read some stories. Yeah, we'll go from there, really. And at the end of the day, like I said, there's already a few people who are not happy with tonight's stream. Get a grip of reality. At the end of the day, you're not going to like everything. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's going to affect your life. Is it going to affect you? No. Is it going to affect me? No. If it doesn't affect you and it's not going to change anything in your daily life, then why overthink it? Why throw emotions into it? Why get so affected by something? If I can sit here and take constructive criticism from multiple people with very different comments and realize that, look, there may be a breakdown in communication, or I'm not explaining it correctly, or I'm not speaking the right, the correct King's English, or, fine. It can be discussed in different ways. But to take an example of and at the end of the day, human beings, it doesn't matter what cultural background you got, it doesn't matter what religion you believe in, it doesn't matter what's dangling between your legs or not, it doesn't matter if you want to be about pronouns, nothing. It's about the basic human factor of caring about other human beings. It's as simple as that. And if you want to do your research, then go and do your research, but do it properly. And if you've got a valid argument, if you like, perfect example, Roy pointed out about the website, fine. Then send me the information of a website that's unbiased and shows me different information. Now, not all the information on these websites is about it covers every single different thing. Every single crime you can think of, it will cover that. It's not all about just one thing, but for 16 pages with 25 incidents on each page, that tells me something. But that's entirely up to you guys to go and do. You got the links there, go and have a look. That's why I put the links in the description. But it's not about that. See, now you're making me hungry. But if you didn't like the stream tonight, fine. That's entirely your choice. But I just wanted to say what I wanted to say. And I know I'm going to get it in the neck from other people privately, but that's part and parcel. I don't mind that. But one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not mocking the US. I'm not mocking any country. I'm just pointing out the facts that, like, if you're going to laugh or joke about countries' laws, have the decency to offer a fucking reach around. And I had mince rice and cauliflower tonight. No, it wasn't cauliflower. What was it? Yeah, it was cauliflower. There you go. So feel free to fucking insult and mock if you like, because right now I am just going to mute myself and take 2 minutes to, yeah.
Chase them down beneath the setting sun. Yeah, the road don't stop, and neither do I. Just me, my wheel,
Right. Now that I have taken a chill pill, and quite a few people are not happy. But here's the thing about you being happy with what I say. If my opinion offends you, then maybe you need to get out more and socialize more. But there you go. To be perfectly honest with you, now I am in the mood. I like that one. Expect me to eat that spoon of horse shit and pretend it's chocolate. Now, how am I wired? You are a person who will always say it as it is. Now, again, sorry, I have got blocked nose actually. Again, I'm going to say this, and I don't want any. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want any not gratitude. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. I don't want any thanks or anything else. Basically, all I want is you guys to understand that if I really wanted to say something about the United States or Canada or any other country, I would say it. However, the thing is, you can't blame any country on the actions of the minority. You just have to remember that the majority are the good eggs. Just like we've in our country, we've got a minority of idiots who think that the sun shines out their ass, which it doesn't. You know, I mean, yeah. But all I ask is that you guys show the victims and the people of Bondi Beach and that area and and Australia a little bit of common courtesy of respecting, what happened. Just like if something like if it happened in the States, which a few things have happened, and again to all the victims, sincere condolences and prayers and thoughts for them. I know that people are not going to like my opinion because I'm a limey. Well, a sheepshagging limey, which I'm proud of. That's your pit. That's something you have to deal with. Yep. Wait, that's fact. That's fact. Yeah. But there you go. So, it's a topic that I know a lot of people don't like, or everyone has has an opinion. However, the thing is, when you try to force your opinion on everyone else, that's where the line. That's where things start to get out of control. Because at the end of the day, right, if you don't live in that country, which can be said to me and other people, if you don't live in that country and you don't know, then you can't comment. However, yes, I may not live in Australia or the United States or Canada, but I have been to those countries and I have an insight and I have an opinion. Sometimes my opinion may not be something that you like to hear, but at the end of the day, every opinion is like an ass. Yeah, right. And that's just one of those things. However, when you got a situation where I want to discuss something, and I've had this a couple of times where I have been ridiculed because I am not, a resident of that country. It does make me think of what plane of existence these individuals live on. But to joke about countries' laws on weapons, or like in America, you got your Second Amendment. Over here, we got our common law. In Australia, I think it's a similar law. I need to check that out. But to mock And it wasn't just one individual, there were multiple individuals over various different platforms. One of them I am not going to discuss because it was filled with hate. It was filled with negativity and discrimination. And I'm not going to repeat that one. But all I ask is just show your support and your thoughts for the victims of Bondi Beach. That's all I'm asking. There you go. Done. Happy days. Right. Now that topic is out of the way. Obviously, people don't like to talk about that. We'll leave that as that then, shall we? Some people may not like what's happened tonight or what was said, but you know what they say, don't you? This is nothing compared to what other people do and say. Far from it. Far from it. Hey, easy. Wait, what? I missed that. Freckles. I'm watching everyone's comment. I'm just trying to rail this back into a normal topic of conversation, but we're not going to. When I lived in Germany, I obeyed German laws when off base. That's the key whenever you live. Yeah, exactly. Roy, just to give you an idea, I don't know what camp you stayed in, but I think you told me, and I remember. But I can remember coming out of camp, and there were always two taxis outside of camp, and the taxis were always white Mercedes. I think they were like Mercedes E-Class. Yeah. Oh, don't you worry. I'll be Feckle. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere soon. But I'll tell you one thing. Quite a few people didn't like the fact that I touched this topic tonight. But here's the thing. Get over yourself. I'm going to say it as it is. And I know there's going to be people out there who are going to, Spawntrooper talk shit, Spawntrooper this, Spawntrooper that. And guess what? The more you talk about me, the more free advertising I'm getting. Seriously, I really do appreciate that. To everyone who's going to talk shit about me, thank you so much for the free advertising. But just so you know, not this week, or I think, you fucker. I just pulled a scab off my fucking arm and it felt like someone stabbed me with a fucking blunt screwdriver. Anyway, I will be doing a members only. I won't be discussing this anymore after tonight. I only wanted to discuss this tonight because I felt that a neutral message or a message should be sent, and that our thoughts are with them over there. And to the gentleman who tackled the father on Bondi Beach, well bloody done. You deserve a frickin' medal. So, but yeah, there you go. So, who asked me about the car or the bike? Who was it? Oh, I'm leaking. Shots fired off the starboard bow. Yeah. But there you go. To be honest with you, I don't really know what to say. I'm totally blank at the moment. It's a 1 year's anniversary of my friend's mother passing away. Yeah. Christmas is usually all right. This season is usually always one that's hard for a lot of people. And I am going to be doing a members only, and where you can just chill out. Now, another thing I have to say, a big shout out to everyone who's invested in me. So thank you very much for doing that, for your trust and everything else. Yeah. And I know some people are going to be pissed off with me, and we'll just have to fucking, deal with that afterwards. And Roy, you can get hold of me anytime if you want, and so can other people. But there you go. I don't really know what. To be honest with you, this is probably the first time that I have been lost of words. To be very honest. Yeah, I know, but it's just one of those things. I mean, at the end of the day, there was a lot of constructive criticism tonight in the stream, and I really do appreciate that, and I'm not taking offense at all. Um, and obviously, welcome to all the newcomers. Thank you very much for being here. Oh, Timothy, right to the. Oh God, I mean, oh my God, right in the heart, dude. Freaking Navy. Wait, what? um, no, there were some really good arguments tonight, and sometimes I like that because, Roy, Jeff, Timothy, Squid. There's a lot of people who put and also ever Freckles as well. A lot of people put some very constructive criticism in here, and I like that. Yes, it is, Roy, and that's what, and that's why I'm also one of the reasons I'm going to do a members only, and then I'm also going to do another stream that's going to be open. But like, things over in like in Germany when the truck went it through the Christmas market and stuff like that. These things, what can you do? People are too scared to say boo to a goose. Excuse me. Now, for example, Squid. I know that I've got battle stations because like Squid is a very intelligent lady. Um, sometimes we may not agree with each other, but we are good friends, just like my pretty and Roy and SMN and other people. And here's the thing: if I say something that they didn't like, they're gonna fucking tell me. All right, and they know that I can sit here and take it. Uh, and maybe I'll either say, yeah, whatever, talk to the hand, not the face. But on most occasions, I respect their constructive feedback. But the thing is, I am done with people playing games and thinking that it's okay to say shit and sit there and think it's funny. Someone losing their life is not funny. There you go. Excuse me. No, actual fact, the reason they are doubling their budget up to 80% is because of everything they have given to different countries or sold. So they're putting more money back into the government. Because to be honest with you, for 20 plus years, they haven't really put that much in. because so now they're upping it. So that's the reason why they're doing it. And also, don't forget all the old versions of the Leopard 2 and all the older versions. Obviously, they went to different countries, and also Ukraine, which we're not going to go into. We'll do that on members only. So obviously, they are modernizing their general fleet per se, and that's why it's been increased. One of the reasons they've increased it, and I doubt very much. I mean, European Parliament tried to. They came up with this idea about creating a European army. That would never work, and that's proven in most NATO deployments or battle groups across the world. It usually goes wrong very quickly. But anyway, that can be a topic for another day. Yeah. I mean, I would find it quite funny as well. But anyway, guys, I think so far, how many people? Let's see how many people I've possibly offended. I've offended tonight. Oh, bless! Really? Oh, oh well. Excuse me a second. It would be a good idea to unmute myself. I just sat here talking and freaking got myself muted, haven't I? Oh yeah. Now, if any of you want to do research about different countries' allowance or permissions for different types of firearms, over here in the United Kingdom, it's called Section 5 of the Firearms Certificate, or it's a Section 5 of the Firearms Act. Okay. All you have to do is put it into Google's, and the Googles will then show you. And you can do the same for Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, different countries, and you'll find out what you're allowed to have and what you're not allowed to have. I mean, obviously, in the United States, you've got your Second Amendment, and I know there's a certain. Excuse me, sorry for the cough. There's a certain duration in certain states. Different states have different rules where you got to wait 2 weeks or it's 31 days or whatever, and then you have to do a background check with ATF and stuff. I don't know all the knowledge. However, common sense prevails. So do your research. And I hope that tonight's stream is, if it's controversial, fine. Whoopsie. Okay. If some people are upset the fact that a alien, a non-American or non-Canadian, non-Australian brought up the statistics in each country, don't be offended, because I wouldn't be offended if you did it. Right. On that note, I'm going to mute myself because I need a cough again. One sec. And there you go, you hear it first. Waiting periods are starting to fall due to courts ruling them unconstitutional. Yeah. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, Ewoks and Wookiees, can you just imagine if the Magna Carta would be put into ruling over here? That means even my beloved queen could walk around with a lance, a sword, and probably a shield. I mean, you play that game. I mean, you could literally walk around with that stuff. To go to what? All right, okay. I mean, you could always build your own, Timothy, and like out of. I mean, that would be hilarious. I mean, I'm actually very tempted because me and the next door, uh, a friend of mine down the road, he wants to put it this way. It's going to look like a POW camp, and he wants to build this POW camp. And a friend of his does stage stuff, and I went, yeah, I'll get all the special effects and everything. And we want to build a couple of towers. So yeah, I mean that. I wonder what happened there. I wonder what the police will say to that. Come around the corner, and all you see is two towers. What do you want? No, but yeah, it's a situation. Oh well, yeah, yeah, she is in the kitchen right now, so I need to be careful what I say. That's why I'm talking very quietly because I can hear the frying pan. Yeah, but guys, look, if you are offended or you didn't like what I said tonight, take it with a pinch of salt. Everyone has a right to an opinion, just like everyone's got, you know. Someone is saying they're sending their blessings and prayers for you. Sponsor, the main issue is whether you agree or not is that no other constitutional rights have the test or waiting period for period to exercise them. Wait a minute, let me read that one again. The main issue, whether you agree or not, is that no other constitutional rights have a test or waiting period to exercise them. I just think that, like, me personally, I think that every single person, regardless of who they are, goes through an evaluation, a psychological evaluation, and they check on everything. And then they check on your background, who you've been talking to, and, what type of opinion, maybe it could stop future issues, maybe not. I mean, you don't know. You can't judge every single person just because they have different thoughts, beliefs, or whatever. However, I just think I am glad, I'm not young. I'm glad that, maybe if I was younger or back in the day, maybe my opinion about everything that's going on would be more harsher and unfiltered. And to be perfectly honest with you, from what I have witnessed over the last year and a half, 2 years with what's going on, with this case and everything, yes, I have held back a lot. Oh, I have a massage. You see that there? Yeah, abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. See, that makes me proud. But at the same time, I know that what you just sent, Squid, right, is done by a responsible human being. Tell me I'm right or wrong. Yep. Oh God, people are gonna have, now people are gonna have something to talk about in the next couple of days. Oh, that fucking limey prick. Nope, nope. I'm not sharing it. Absolutely not. Nope. And there's a reason I'm not sharing it. But I'll explain that privately. But yeah, safety first. Yeah, responsibility. I really don't know what to say because no, I've got the shit. That's all I want to say. I'm not going to say because at the end of the day, one, I think it's irrelevant. Two, I don't think it's part of the topic. And three, I just think people need to take a very, very long look at themselves before judging others. And I have seen a lot of judgment. A lot of judgment. In actual fact, I've seen more judgment since I've been on here, not tonight, but in general, than I ever have in real life. Usually, when you're judged, it's about your actions, it's about the actions, and that's what I believe. People should be judged by their actions. And I know people have come in here. They've waited 10 minutes to get in here just to say something, and then they're gonna pop off again. That's entirely up to them, all right? But I'm not going to change for nobody. It does, Roy. It does. It doesn't affect my day. But the thing is, I am so sick and tired of fake people. Upholding the law seems to be very selective, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah. I mean, talking, the fact that you've got people already judging the police. How the fuck? Right. This is one of the reasons I'm trying to walk away from this topic right now because like I just wanted to put my thoughts out about the loss of life. And there are some topics on my mind that are richly eating away at me because I want to talk about them. But obviously, we saw what happened when I mentioned different laws, different countries, and different laws, which, again, I respect the constructive feedback. But not even 24 hours after the incident on Bondi Beach, you had multiple different various people already judging the police that apparently the police froze in that incident. Huh. But if you pay attention, it took 3 coppers to stop someone from kicking the shit out of the son. So you got 3 coppers trying to kick the shit out, trying to stop someone booting the crap out of the son. You've got multiple different weapons laying around on the ground, unattended, and in God knows what condition. And apparently the police froze. Don't you find that interesting? Yeah, we can, but like it's getting to the point. It's getting to a point where I'm just sick and tired, and I am very close to actually just taking the filter off and saying it as it is, and I'm becoming very controversial. And I can tell you one thing now: a lot of people won't like it because I've already said we're on a brink. This country's on a brink of us. Of I mean, if you want my honest opinion, this country's on a brink of a civil unrest, and I'm more concerned with that than I am about other things. And these situations that are occurring, like what's happened in Australia, and you know, it's these things are like catalysts. It's like throwing fuel on a fire. But when you want to mock a country, or you want to have a giggle, or want to have a laugh on the account, because like, yeah, that is twice now that I've lost connection. But anyway, let's move on. Let's just get to the Q&A and leave it at that. So if you've got any questions, go ahead and ask. I will sit and wait here. I like the way people try to. No, not going to say it. No. Oh, have you? Yeah. Yeah, something's going on. Oh shit! I totally forgot. We got a Christmas reunion coming up. When that's got? Oh, tomorrow. No, tomorrow I've got to go. I'm going getting another injection. Oh well. I can't believe that people get offended when you constructively talk about. I would. Do you know? I was watching a video. When was it? A couple of weeks ago. And there's this chap. He does loads of short videos and stuff like that. And he's one of these Americans. I think he's from Arkansas, or he's from somewhere. I can't remember where he's from. And he keeps on talking about, because he lives in England, and he talks about different quotes or different terminologies, different foods and stuff like that. And he turns around. He says, even though he's lived here, he's studying or works over here, he's been over here 3 years. He still can't get used to the fact that the police are walking around with no guns. You know, and I'm like going, you haven't met the AROs, SFOs, or CTF SFOs, because when you come across them, the higher that level goes, the worse the lightning ride's going to be for you. Because if you end up face to face with CTSFO, then you know that you're going to be in trouble, big trouble. And you know, if you got the RAO, give you an example. There was a kid came back from a cosplay, and this stupid kid basically was walking. I don't know if it was. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was in England. I think it was in London somewhere. And this kid was walking towards a tube station or something else, dressed in a cosplay costume of Umbrella Corporation. You know, from the film Umbrella. What do you call them? Resident Evil. And obviously, he had a pistol on his holster, which was airsoft and everything else. And he's walking, being reported to the police. You got 4 coppers behind him, walking up behind him, and they just tackled him, put him to the ground, and boy, they nearly buried him into that ground. And obviously, they cuffed him and everything else. And like, you know, 4 coppers buried him. Maybe because it's the cultural differences. You got so many different things. You got cultural differences and stuff like that. But yeah, um, yeah, certain police departments in the British police force do carry uh, weapons, but there are specifically a armed detachment within each police force, and you've got different levels. Yeah. So just a word of advice: if you're sitting in a house and you suddenly got you got armed police knocking on your door, and they have CTSFO on them, my advice is open the door, turn around, get on your knees, put your hands behind your head, and just do exactly what they say. And that goes for any armed police here in the United Kingdom. Over in Germany or France, they got different units. Um, so yeah, that's true, Lisa. Yeah, yeah. That it's like I said, it's like you know, how can I put it? They what's the story? Peter Piper, or people are like sheep. You herd them different directions depending on how you want to put the narrative. You know, fortunately for them, I say as it is. Right, Spawn. All my questions got stated to as start and now forget them. Pretty sure you answered them or answered. Yeah, you're good, Nina. You're good. Spawn, are you streaming Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? I'm not going to be streaming Christmas Day. Absolutely no. But what I will do, I will update you guys. I will send out a CC1 members only, and I'll also do that later on. I'm going to need to talk to a couple of people because I want to bring a couple of people onto the platform. Good simple living lately. No, I haven't. Have you right? Are there any other questions? Spawn, I've had weeks of shit. No, okay. Timothy, I prefer Taco Time. Taco Bell. We can't say what we really should over here. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Fake people are why I have a few friends and people that I trust. Yeah, Roy, I get that. I get that. I've got a group of individuals that I like to talk to off here. Um, Only if say for example they contact me, that's it. We're in a conversation. Um, Even if I have to send voice messages, I'm in a conversation with them because at the end of the day, I can uh, I consider them friends. Now, Squid Pro Quo many moons ago discussed parasocial relationships, but when I talk to someone offline or I talk to someone in private, right, I put my trust in them. Um, there's a lot of, yeah, I put my trust in people I talk privately. Sometimes that trust is broken, but when that's broken, then I have different ways and means to deal with that. Because I'm not an arsehole. Some people react emotionally, or some people are, so I approach it differently. Sometimes you won't even know that I've approached it differently. Sometimes you will, because I'll just tell you straight out, hey, you know. Um, but I hope that tonight's topic was not controversial, but I wanted to just make sure that people don't forget of what happened, and that people have suffered and lost their, they've lost their lives. And um, if you want to go and support the individuals who are at the moment, you know, um, recovering in a hospital, like the little girl or the gentleman who tackled um, that guy, please do just do your own research and just send your prayers and thoughts to all the ones that uh, who were injured and hurt. Rattus, good day, prisoner 64462. Welcome to the yard. They raised, excuse me, they raised 80,000 for the children's camp. That's brilliant. Mother wrote a kid's book. But I'm trying to I'm trying to die this topic down now. But actual fact, let me just on a quiet Sunday, April 1996, single government 35 inclusion in Tasmania. Right, unfortunately, this is a little bit too late, but this can be. There are now home and illegal. Illegal. Yeah, but anyway, we're coming to the end, so that arrived late. But that's interesting to read. I'll probably might read that. Yeah. Anyway, so if there's no more horses. Yep. Spawn, you are a very smart man. Why has my spell checker vanished? It shouldn't have. I mean, if you're on your phone, then you've got that auto spell thing on there. I can't remember what it's called.
Text prediction.
Eh?
Text prediction.
Oh, text prediction.
Text prediction, and they should be the auto spell unless it's been disabled by mistake.
Yeah, and if it's disabled by mistake, you have to go into your settings and just turn it back on. Yeah, but DJ, right, it's good to see you. Good wake up. Go make yourself breakfast, a coffee. To everyone else, thank you very much for your constructive and your constructive criticism and feedback and everything else. Uh-oh. I just spelt freeze with an S. Oh, shit, I need to get out more. Yeah, there's a lot of unhappy teddy bears out there.
Well, they actually be fucking drunk, don't they?
Yeah, well, we're not talking about that. Right, okay, well, obviously, tonight my pretty wasn't available, but tomorrow night, remember, on Squids. And thank you very much for everyone for why does my phone put... Oh, Roy, you're just in the heart, dude. In the heart. But again, thanks very much for all those individuals who did not like the stream. Make sure you hit that like button, or hit whatever you want to hit. I am not going to be intimidated by people who don't like what I say. At the end of the day, if you like your freedom of speech, then why can't other people have freedom of speech? And if people out there are going to use their platforms to mock and talk crap, then all I can say is like, instead of using a shovel, why don't you use a JCB? But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. May you have enjoyed it or not. But on that note, I am going to take my leave. I look forward to the members only. And we're definitely going to do something for Christmas. So if you got any suggestions, especially for the members only, there is a post up. Go and leave it on there. Let me know what you want to do. Yeah, Dave, thanks very much for being here. Oh no, we're not done yet, Timothy. Don't rush. One thing I do want to do, and I'll ask you now. Actually, do you guys want to just do like a Christmas hangout, especially for the members only? I've gone up on the members only, but I'm going to do. Should I do just one for members only, or should I do one for members only for just everyone, subscribers, and we just hang out and we just chat and stuff like that? So what do you want to do? You guys choose. I'll wait until you've. So tell me what you think. And Roy, thank you so much. I hope the wife's doing better. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your constructive feedback and your input, and I respect that. And again, thank you so much for being informative. Oh, I hope it was. Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. I've got an idea. I'll just do a normal stream, and then for members only, we'll do a little story and sing along and have basically like if it's a big family meet. All right. But Double Karma, thank you very much for the £2. Appreciate that. That'll get me how many Dr. Peppers can I get for £2? Probably one. There you go. So thank you very much for that, and I appreciate that. Timothy, you're welcome. Everyone is welcome as long as they respect each other and they behave themselves, because there'll be zero tolerance for anything. But thanks very much for tonight. But again, my condolences, thoughts, and prayers to all the families and loved ones of the incident in Bondi Beach, and hopefully they heal soon. All right, but on that note, take care, guys. Yeet.
They go live every night selling drama on demand with crampons sitting on their ass and dicky on hand. Fake tears falling, oh I'm just speaking truth, while they pocket super chats and exploit the loons. Gator rolls in trying to act real cool, but he's stirring up heat, breaking all the rules. Haters in a circle, all bark, no bite, till Spawntrooper drops and it flips on the light. Spawntrooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawntrooper, he assesses the situation at hand. Spawntrooper, is weak with this one. Deuces in the mix, spinning lies for the stream. He acts like a king, but his throne's just a meme. Dodging all the questions with a scripted phrase, trying to fool the crowd, but he's just a face. Bones Lacker's got a seat at the front of the show, putting up a front, but got nowhere to go. Guano's hiding in shadows, throwing shade in the chat. They all act tough, but Spawntrooper's on that. Spawntrooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawntrooper, he assesses the situation at hand. Weak with this one. Now the people rise, no longer blind. The lies unravel one stream at a time. Truth's not merchant, don't come in packs. And Spawntrooper's got receipts, not just attacks. He says turn off the feed, walk into the sun. This war for your mind, it's already begun. With clarity blazing like a saber so bright, he leads the way through the digital night. Spawntroopers say. I see you playing, keeping up the show, spinning your stories, but the truth starts to flow. Your gators pull high like you're some kind of lord, but all you're doing is striking out with the faulty sword. You're no warrior, just a puppet on strings. Your fake crown don't mean a thing. The game's up now, you're out of move. Spawntroopers here to expose your grunt trooper. He bring truth and facts to the land. Spawntrooper. He assesses the situation at hand. Spawntrooper. Then he say the words, truth don't kneel to no one man. Spawntrooper. The force is weak with this one.
Truth will rise in the end, no place for deceit.
May grim unwind, get a whole group on. The force is weak with this whole bunch.